Here we want to find the integral of cosine cube of x dx. Here I'm going to use u substitution. This is not direct u substitution. First, I need to rewrite this function to be able to use u substitution. Let's do that. This integral can be written as cosine square of x multiplied by cosine of x dx. Now we're going to use a trig identity. It is cosine square of x plus sine square of x equal to 1. Now let's solve for cosine square of x. It's gonna be cosine square of x equal to 1 and then minus sine square of x. Now I'm gonna substitute cosine square of x into the integral. So this integral gonna be equal to the integral of 1 minus sine square of x, and then what's left, which is cosine of x dx. Now I'm ready to make the u substitution. Here we can notice that the derivative of sine of x is cosine of x, and that's why u substitution will work in here. So u going to be equal to sine of x, and then du is cosine of x, and then dx. Now we are ready to make this substitution. So this integral gonna be equal to 1 and then minus sine square of x is just u and then squared. Remember that sine square of x is the same as sine of x all squared. And then cosine of x dx is just du. Now we are ready to integrate this function. What's the antiderivative of 1? It is just u, and then u squared gonna be u cubed over 3 and then plus c. Now we're gonna back substitute the value of u. Remember, u is equal to sine of x, so we're gonna have sine of x and then minus sine of cube of x and then over 3 plus c. And that should be the antiderivative of the integral. From the previous step, we know what's the antiderivative of cosine cube of x. It's gonna be equal to sine of x and then minus sine cube of x over 3 and then plus the constant. Now let's use the table of integration to find cosine cube of x, and let's compare it to what we found using u substitution. This is the table of integration. So first, to use the table of integration, we have to look into these. Remember here, what we have is cosine to the power of 3. So I'm gonna go to this one here, which is integer power of sine of x and cosine of x. And then we have cosine to the power of 3. So this n gonna be equal to 3. And to use this number 18, n has to be positive, and our n, which is 3, is positive. So we're gonna use this one to use the antiderivative of cosine to the power of 3 of x. So again here, we're gonna use number 18 to solve the integral of cosine cube of x. N is equal to 3, therefore it's gonna be 1 over n, which is 3, and then cosine of n minus 1, which is 3 minus 1, which is 2, of x, and then sine of x, and then plus, and then n minus 1, which is 3 minus 1 over n, which is 3, and then the cosine of 3 minus 2 of x dx. Let's simplify. It's going to be 1 over 3 of cosine square of x, sine of x, and then plus 3 minus 1 is 2, so we're going to have 2 over 3, and then we have integral of cosine of 3 minus 1, which is just 1 of x dx. Now in the next step, we're going to find antiderivative of cosine of x. So we will have 1 over 3, then cosine square of x, sine of x, plus 2 over 3, and then the antiderivative of cosine of x is sine of x, and then plus c. Now we can use this entity, which is cosine square of x plus sine square of x equal to 1. I'm going to solve for cosine square of x, so that's going to be cosine square of x is equal to 1 minus sine square of x. So that's going to be 1 over 3, and remember, cosine square of x is this one here, and going to be 1 minus sine square of x, then multiply by sine of x plus 2 over 3, then sine of x plus 1. Now let's simplify this term in here. It's going to be 1 over 3, and then sine of x minus sine cubed of x, and then plus 2 over 3 sine of x plus c. Now I'm going to multiply this 1 over 3 inside the parentheses, so it's going to be 1 over 3 sine of x minus 1 over 3 sine cubed of x, and then plus 2/3 of sine of x plus c. Now let's add these terms together. So 1 over 3 sine of x plus 2 over 3 sine of x, that's going to be equal to 1 sine of x. Then this will come the same, so we have 1/3 of sine cubed of x and then the constant, and that should be the simplified solution. Note in here, these are exactly the same. So to find the integral of cosine cube of x dx, you can use substitution, or you can use table of integration number 18.